Laurel, are you there? You still haven't sent me any photos of little Betty. Oh, I want to see my granddaughter, so hurry up and send me some.
Mom, my daughter's name is not Betty. I've already told you that we decided to name her Wednesday.
Oh, but Betty is such a classic name. It has such a lovely ring to it, and think of all the lovely Bettys that have existed in the past.
Be that as it may, my daughter's name is Wednesday, okay? Please don't go calling my daughter strange names that don't even sound like her real name.
Oh, come on. What's wrong with calling her Betty?
Nothing is wrong with that name, but it isn't the one that Richard and I gave to our daughter. So please don't go calling her Betty, okay, Mom?
Ugh, you can really be such a pill, you know that? But fine, have it your way. Can I at least get a few photos of the lovely lady?
Mom, I'm really glad that you're so fond of Wednesday, but you ask for new photos every single day. Not only that, but you come over to our house all the time as well. Why not just take the photos that you want then? I'm sorry, but I'm really busy and I don't have time to be taking photos constantly.
What kind of excuse is that, huh? It just takes a couple of seconds to send a photo. Surely you aren't so busy that you can't spare a second to show me my granddaughter, right?
Except that you're always critiquing the way that I take those photos. You're always telling me the lighting isn't good enough or telling me to put her in some silly pose. By the time I get the photos that you actually want to see, I've already wasted 15 minutes.
But I only want to have more photos to show my friends and neighbors. That's why I have to make sure that the photos you send me are as cute as they can be. I bet you don't even know how many people around here are brought joy just from seeing your little girl.
I really don't think you need to be showing these people so many pictures of my baby daughter. And I think that they're probably much less interested in seeing Wednesday than you think. Besides, maybe you shouldn't be the one showing off her photos to everyone, do you think?
Oh, you have no idea what you're talking about. Everyone loves little Wednesday. They all say what a beautifully cute little girl she is. In fact, they all say that she looks just like me. But then again, I was known for being quite the looker when I was younger. So I'm glad that I was able to pass those genes on to her in a way.
You aren't going around saying all of that to others as well, right?
Which part are you talking about?
I mean the part about you being known for being pretty when you were younger.
And just why shouldn't I be saying something like that, huh? Everyone really did think I was stunning back in my prime.
Well, that's all well and good, but don't you think it's just a little prideful, maybe?
Oh, I think people who believe that are just covering up their own insecurities. Either that or they really are just fatties who don't like seeing someone prettier than them.
Okay, well, that's just a pretty straight-up rude thing to say about other people. All I'm saying is that if you go around bragging about yourself so much, people are going to want to stop hanging out with you.
Well, it's not like I'm going around calling people fat to their faces or anything like that. Even I have the good sense to keep my mouth shut when I see someone really, really ugly. I mean, they probably already know how they look. What's the point in reminding them, you know?
Just hearing you talk about other people like this is starting to irk me, Mom.
Well, it's been a month since you've given birth, hasn't it? I bet it's probably just your hormones being imbalanced. Don't worry, things will settle back down for you.
I really, really don't think that it's that.
Well, I'm just glad that at least your child looks like me. Because your siblings' children? Ugh, not so much. Sometimes I wonder if they're even really my kids. I mean, we don't even look all that similar.
Mom, are you kidding me right now? How can you be saying that about your own children?
Well, it's not like I'm saying any of that to their faces or anything. I'm only telling you because you're not them.
So then, as long as the actual people don't hear what you're saying about them, it's okay to diss them like that? Besides, isn't John and his wife letting you stay with them? How can you say something like that about your son when he's doing that for you?
But surely you think it too, right? You must think that you have the cutest baby out of the rest of your siblings, don't you?
I really don't feel that way at all. And I think that John's daughter is a very cute baby.
But her face is all, well, it's a face only a mother could love.
Okay, Mom, can we just stop talking about how other people look? Anyway, Wednesday just woke up from her nap. I've got to go and deal with her.
Don't forget to send me some pictures, okay? I'll be having dinner with friends tonight, so make sure that you get them to me by then. Ooh, and maybe a video too. 2 weeks later. Laurel, did you get a call from Tiffany earlier today?
I did, yeah. She's gonna come over next week to watch Wednesday for me. I'm really lucky to have a sister-in-law as kind as she is. Last month was so hectic that I just didn't have a chance at all to speak with her. But I really do have so much that I can learn.
You know that you could have just come to me to ask for help, right?
I know, but Tiffany wasn't there when I gave birth and hasn't even met Wednesday. And last month was such a rush that we just didn't have any time to meet at all. I also haven't been able to go to the salon or even really sit back and take a breath for myself since having Wednesday.
Well, I'm sure that you must be feeling the need for a lot of help at times like these, right? But why not ask me for help when you need it? I've helped you before, remember?
When did you help me before?
Well, while you were doing all the chores around the house, I was keeping an eye on Wednesday while she was napping, remember?
I remember you sitting in the same room as her to watch her, but I don't really know how much of a help I would really say that was.
Well, that's probably all that Tiffany is going to do. But I'm your mom, and I want to be here for you when I can.
I get that, but I really don't feel like being around too many people still. It's just that Tiffany and I are so close, and I think that she knows what I'd expect at this time of my life.
So you think that Tiffany knows better about what to do than I do? Huh, I still think that girl has a lot to learn, you know.
Oh, really? You do? What do you mean by that exactly?
I'm just saying that she's still a young woman and doesn't have all the experience that I do. Not only that, but she looks like a total mess who has no idea how to take care of herself in the slightest.
I'm sorry, but I'm really not following with that last one. I think that Tiffany takes really good care of herself. Besides, her kid is already 3, but she tells me that she still manages to take care of the house, herself, and her baby all by herself. Even though you're there living with her and John.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Are you trying to say that I don't help out with those two as much as I should?
Well, do you actually help out? Because the way John talks about it, it sounds like you just lie around all day and do whatever you want.
How dare you talk to your mother like that? I do plenty around the house.
Well, I certainly hope that you do. After all, we're all family now, and I would hate to find out that any of that were true.
Well, it's not true. I do plenty of things to help out. I taught Tiffany how to change a diaper when she first brought her little girl home.
I feel like lots of parents don't know how to change diapers at first, though.
Okay, well, do you know that Tiffany hardly even cooks real meals for us? I feel like she just cycles through the same recipes all the time.
Okay, but doesn't Tiffany have a part-time job?
She does, but she only has shifts twice a week.
So then she's taking care of the baby, doing all the cooking and cleaning, and working a job? I don't really see anything bad about repeating recipes if they're healthy and if her little girl likes them.
But it's so boring. You can tell that she has no idea what she's doing in the kitchen.
Mom, don't you think you might be acting a little harshly towards Tiffany? I mean, maybe just ease up on her a little and let her live her own life? If you're really so upset about her cooking, why don't you offer to cook for everyone then?
I do cook now and then, thank you very much. And just why do you always take Tiffany's side over mine, huh? You have no idea how hard it is for me living with those two. How can you just throw your own mother under the bus like this, huh?
I'm not trying to take sides or throw anyone under the bus, Mom. I'm just saying that maybe you're being a bit subjective with all this, and most of it is probably actually fine. Why do you always have to turn things into a competition between you and someone else?
You really are a useless daughter, you know that? I really thought you would be more understanding of what I'm going through.
I don't get it, Mom. If living there is really so difficult for you, then why don't you just move out? After all, you're always complaining about living with them to me. Why don't you quit whining and do something about it?
I am not whining, thank you very much. Besides, you know how lonely I've been ever since your father passed away. And besides, John was the one who agreed to let me live with him. Also, I figured that it would be cheaper than having to go find a place to pay rent. Not to mention the fact that I really like John's place.
Well, if you're getting all that out of living there, then maybe you could be a bit more grateful to them for letting you stay. And if things are really as bad as you say living there, then maybe it's time that you moved out.
Well, it's not like I hate living with John and Tiffany. I just thought you should know about how much patience I have living here, and I'm going through things too.
Well, yes, when you share a house with other people, it can be difficult at times. Families fight all the time when they're sharing a space like that, but it's about being able to work through those tough times.
But I'm telling you that I really do have it really hard.
I'm very sure that you feel that way. Anyways, I have to get Wednesday ready for a doctor's appointment, so I have to go right now.
But I'm not done saying all I want to say to you yet.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have an appointment and I can't be late. I'll text you later when I have more time.
1 week later.
Hey, Tiffany, I was just wondering if you had a quick moment to chat. Also, I'm really sorry if I'm bugging you at work right now. I don't want to get you into trouble.
Oh, Laurel, how's it going? I actually don't have any work today, so I can chat. What's up?
Ah, good. I was worried I would be holding you up or something. I just wanted to say I'm really happy you could make it over yesterday to meet Wednesday for the first time.
Aw, thank you. I'm so sorry that it took me this long to finally be able to do so.
Oh, you really don't have to worry about that at all. I've also been so busy ever since I had her. I'm just happy that our schedules happened to line up and that we could make it work out.
Yes, it was so nice getting to see you yesterday.
But I just wanted to ask you a little question. What was up with that gift that you brought over?
Oh no, was it not enough? I was really worried about it.
No, it's nothing like that. I was wondering if there wasn't some kind of mistake or something.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you gave me some raffle tickets inside of the card that you brought over today.
Raffle tickets?
Yeah, I just never heard of anyone getting a gift like that after having a kid. Is it supposed to be like a good luck charm kind of thing? I just had never heard of it before and wanted to ask you about it.
But I didn't put raffle tickets in there. I went to the bank and took out $500 that I put in there.
Wait, you were gonna give me a check? I'm sorry, I'm really confused right now.
No, I was meant to give you the cash and that's it. I was going to give you money to help you buy all that baby stuff.
Well, you know that shopping area around where you guys live, right? I got 5 raffle tickets from around there instead, so I guess I was just a little confused.
Oh no. Well, I don't know what happened, but I'll come over with the check right away.
Hold on, don't go and do that. If you already took out the money to give me, then you shouldn't have to take out another $500. I couldn't make you do that.
Well, I really appreciate the thought, but more than anything, I just want to know what happened.
It's strange, but I'm not upset about it. Who knows, I might win something big with one of those tickets. You never know. I'm more worried about what would have happened between you taking the money out and giving me the card.
I know that I went to the bank, then I stopped by the store to get the card and sign it. After that, I put the money in the card and left it on the kitchen table so I wouldn't forget it when I went to your house yesterday. But I never even bought raffle tickets, so I am just stumped.
You left the card and the money on the kitchen table? Tell me, did my mom happen to be home at the time?
She was, actually. Or at least I'm pretty sure that she was. Although I think that she left the house before I did to go run some errands or something like that.
Do you think it's possible that my mom might have something to do with this?
You really don't think that your own mom would have done something like that, do you?
Do you really think that she wouldn't? I'm sorry, I realize that I'm putting you in an awkward spot right now, but lately I've just gotten the sense that my mom has been really harsh on you. I guess I'm just kind of nervous about how things are going with you all living with each other. I mean, do you think my mom is annoying? I'm sure she's always saying mean things to you, right?
Well, I think that she just wants to encourage me to do better than I already am.
So she is always saying things to you then. Ugh, Tiffany, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with that.
There's really no need to apologize at all.
No, I mean it. John and I should have noticed this from our mom sooner.
Well, it's not all her. I really could be doing better around the house. I just really want your mom to like me.
Tiffany, you really are a sweet woman, and you're already doing more than anyone should for their mother-in-law. But I don't think that you have to be so modest. You have a right to be comfortable in your own house too, you know? I'll talk to my mom about this and try to set her straight.
I'm really sorry you even have to do that, Laurel.
You don't have anything to be sorry for. It's my mom who should be apologizing. Anyways, I just hope that you can hold on a little longer. I'll talk with John about this too. Maybe you two can come over to my house sometime soon and we can all talk about this in person.
A few days later.
Mom, I think that we need to have a little talk.
Oh, well, what would you like to talk about, Laurel?
It's about Tiffany, actually. You were right. She really just has no sense about her.
You mean that you finally get it? I told you, didn't I? I told you that girl has no idea what she's doing in life at all. She's a total ditz. But why this sudden change? Oh, did she do something to make you finally realize I've been right this whole time?
Well, she came over to give me a gift after having given birth, only there wasn't any money inside the card she gave me.
Oh, you're kidding me! What kind of person gives a gift at a time like that isn't even money? She just wants to keep all her money for herself and skimp out on gifts for her family.
It really is a shame. Don't tell me that this means she's been doing this to other people as well.
I am telling you, that girl just has no sense about her at all. That's why I'll never truly accept her as my daughter-in-law. She just refuses to change the things that I tell her. She's just not good enough for my son.
Do you think maybe the two of them should get a divorce or something like that?
You know, I was actually having the exact same thought earlier this week. I mean, what kind of person gives raffle tickets as a gift after having a child? That girl needs to learn a thing or two about the real world, or else no one is ever going to want anything to do with her. I think she just did that to you because she's just jealous that your baby is cuter than hers.
Mom, I never once mentioned anything about any raffle tickets.
Wait, what?
I knew it! I knew that you were the one who switched out the money for the raffle tickets!
Hold on. Did you really not say anything about tickets at all? Well then, I guess I must have just come up with that one on my own. Oops.
It's too late to try to cover your tracks now, Mom. And I was lying about not liking Tiffany. I was just trying to see if I could get you to come clean about this to me. But now I see that you were doing all of this to her to try to turn people against her.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all, Laurel.
I already said it's too late to try and play dumb, Mom. Well, you're gonna keep away from Tiffany and stop living with her and John.
What do you mean? Why should I have to stop living with the two of them?
How about because you're bullying Tiffany? You make her do all the housework while you just look for ways to criticize her. I really can't believe how cruel you've been to her this whole time.
I wasn't being cruel at all. I was just trying to give her some friendly advice as her mother-in-law.
And I'm sure that Tiffany would be kind enough to say the same thing, but I know that isn't true. Tiffany recorded some of her conversations with you, and I was just appalled at what I was hearing come out of your mouth. You were calling her all kinds of horrible names and putting her down like she was nothing.
Well, I don't see what's wrong with being honest and telling someone what I think about them.
Oh, really? Because I think you would only do that if you were sure you could get away with it.
But I really was just trying to make her into a better wife for John. Is that really so bad? Oh, I can't believe that you're really going to be taking her side over mine on this.
Well, I really feel like I just don't have any other choice in the matter at this point. I mean, who wouldn't take Tiffany's side in this when you're treating her like a maid? Tiffany and John are tired of living with you, and John wants nothing to do with you anymore. And I don't want you coming over to my house either.
Wait, John is going to stop talking to me?
Of course he is, after the way you've been treating his poor wife.
But I didn't even do anything wrong. This isn't fair.
You literally verbally abused Tiffany and treated her like a slave around the house. In fact, I really want to cut you out of my life too, but I have no idea what you might try to pull in the future.
Laurel, please, talk some sense into your brother. You can't really be okay with all of this, can you? Maybe you are right. Maybe I have been a little harsh on Tiffany.
It's way too late to make excuses or try and apologize now, Mom. You were more than happy to try and ruin Tiffany's reputation even among her own melee.
Well, then tell her that I'm sorry for everything. Surely that will fix the whole situation, won't it?
Just give it a rest already. Haven't you already done enough to the poor woman? This isn't something you can just wash away with a mere apology.
But I don't want to live by myself. Please. What are my neighbors going to say when they stop seeing John and Tiffany hanging around?
I suppose you'll just have to tell them the truth about what happened. Or not. I suppose I really can't know what it is you tell people to get them to believe what you wanted them to. Just don't expect any of us to come and help you if you need it.
Laurel, I really am so sorry about all of this. I'll give back the money if that's what you want. I'll apologize to Tiffany and everything. Please, she has to forgive me for this. I never wanted this to happen.
You know, Tiffany is kind enough that if you apologize, she probably would forgive you. That's why she asked me to deal with you in her place.
But my back has been hurting me so much lately. How am I supposed to take care of the house all by myself?
Your back has been hurting? That's not what I hear from John and Tiffany, who see you going out into the town and coming home with heavy shopping bags all the time. But if it's really getting that bad, maybe it's time you put yourself in a home.
I promise never to do anything mean to Tiffany ever again. I swear it.
I think there's one with a vacancy sign somewhere downtown, right?
Please, you can't just cut me off like this. I'm your mother. You can't just leave me to grow old all by myself. I really am sorry about this.
Poor Tiffany has been putting up with your nonsense ever since they moved in with you. She did everything that you asked of her and more, and you never once had a kind word to say about her. Well, now they realize that you need them more than they need you. This is what you get for taking advantage of people's kindness like that. After that, John and Tiffany packed their bags and moved out from my mom's place. Tiffany told me it was like a heavy weight had been lifted from her shoulders and that she felt like she was finally able to breathe again. My mom, on the other hand, acted like a big baby and howled as if the world was ending around her while they left. She began calling me, sobbing at me over the phone every single day. It started taking up so much of my time that I finally told my mom that I would be blocking her number if she didn't limit her calls to real emergencies. The calls became much less frequent after that. I heard through the grapevine that after John and Tiffany moved out, that Mom had become a bit of a recluse and has even stopped going out on her famous shopping sprees. Although I imagine that her neighbors must be grateful that she stopped wandering around the streets looking for anyone who she can brag about her grandchild, and herself, too. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey, Aunt Tessa, just wanted to check in on you and see how you're doing.
Oh, Davis, what a lovely surprise hearing from you. To what do I owe the pleasure? And yes, I'm still getting my butt to work, so I think I'm just fine.
And you haven't been smoking at all lately either?
You know that I quit that a long time ago, don't you? Although I must say that I do get very tempted when the customers are smoking in the bar. But I still stay strong.
Well, that's good at least. You know that I worry about you at your age, right? You need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. I mean, you do still drink quite a bit, and you're basically nocturnal with the way you work, too.
What on earth are you talking about? I get up every single day at around 10 in the morning. Not only that, but with the 2 new stores that I've opened up, I'm busy a lot more in the day than I am at night.
Well, that's another reason why I sometimes worry about you. Are you getting enough sleep most days, then?
These days, I am hardly ever staying at the store until closing time. So I don't think you need to worry about me being up too late.
But you have other things going on than what happens at your store, right? I mean, on top of managing them, you also have to go and meet with vendors and people like that too, right?
Yes, that is true. But don't worry, I'm definitely not partying like I used to when I was younger, and I've cut back on my drinking a lot.
I'm sorry, but I just remembered being in middle school and going into the living room in the morning to see you passed out with a bottle of wine on the couch.
Well, that's because I was still young and full of life back in those days. Now, there is just no way that I could keep up that lifestyle anymore. I think if I even had one day where I drank as much as I did back then, that I wouldn't even be able to function for about a week afterwards. So don't you worry about me. That's all behind me now.
You keep talking about how young you were back then, but I think you were still pretty old by the time I was living with you.
Davis, how rude! Don't you know you shouldn't be talking to a lady about her age? Honestly, I thought I raised you better than that.
I'm sorry, you know that I didn't mean it like that, but I was just wondering if you even have to keep on working. I mean, surely you have enough money saved up to retire by this point, right? You're always so busy running your stores, and I just wonder if you ever have time to do anything else you want to be doing. Even if you don't retire all the way, maybe you could just be like kind of semi-retired for a while?
I won't lie to you. More and more I have days where I think that sounds quite nice. But I just know that I still have the fight in me to keep going a little while more. Anyways, sorry Davis, was there something you wanted to talk to me about? I feel like we got a bit distracted with this chit-chat and catching up.
Well, actually, I did have something I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, what is it? You shouldn't be having a lady in suspense. What do you want to talk to me about?
I have someone who I'd like you to meet.
You mean a girl? A girlfriend? You're bringing home a girlfriend?
Well, maybe a bit more than that. I've actually been seeing this girl for a while, and, well, I proposed to her not that long ago. So I wanted you to meet her and give your blessing. I know I jumped the gun at proposing, but it would still mean a lot.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I don't know what to say! This is all so exciting. My little Davis is finally going to be getting married. Oh, I'm crying right now. I knew this day would come, but I didn't know it would hit me like this. Oh my. Oh, my makeup is going to start running.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Aunt Tessa. I didn't mean to make you cry, especially right before you were going into the bar. Maybe I should have just waited until after you were off to tell you about this.
Oh, don't be silly. These are tears of joy. I'm so happy for you, Davis. This is just the most wonderful news. Oh my, this is just amazing. But I still have to go and do my hair for the night. And I have to make sure to tell all the girls at the bar about this great news.
Oh, come on, it's not that big of a deal. You don't gotta go and tell the girls.
What are you talking about? This is amazing news. Don't you dare try and downplay the fact that you're getting married. I'm so excited for you, Davis. Thank you so much for telling me this. This is going to make the rest of my night so much easier to deal with.
Aunt Tessa, thank you so much. You know that I have to thank you for everything that I've been able to do up until now.
What do you mean, sweetie? You've done so well for yourself, and you really ought to be proud.
But when I was just a kid, both my parents died. You were the one that took me in, and I didn't have anyone else. Even though you were still working nights and busy with your store, you still always made sure to have time for me when I needed it. And no matter how tired you were, you would make sure to cook for me. You raised me, and I just feel like I owe you everything. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, Aunt Tessa.
Are you really trying to get me to cry even before my shift? You should have saved that little speech for when I was laying on my deathbed. Oh, now I'll have to go and fix my makeup all over again.
Please don't say that, Aunt Tessa. I just, I want you to know how happy I am that I get to share this moment with you. And you better not be lying in that bed anytime soon. I still want you to be in my life for a long time. I still have so much I need to do to pay you back.
David, what on earth are you talking about? I was the one who took you in. I knew it would be my duty to see to it that you were raised right. I'm so grateful to have you in my life, too. I don't know where I'd be without you always looking out for me. I know this is awful to say, but there are times when well, grateful is the wrong word. But I wonder if fate didn't push us into each other's lives like this after your parents passed.
Well, I barely have any memory of my parents at this point. But for basically all my life, you've been the only parent that I did have, and I couldn't ask for a better person to raise me.
Oh, Davis, don't you go starting with me again. My eyes are going to be red and puffy all night at this rate.
You're right, we could just save this talk for another time, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. Anyway, if possible, I'd like for you to meet my fiancé sometime next month. When you have a chance to look at your schedule, please let me know a day that would work for you.
I think there are going to be a few days when the clubs will be closed, but I'll give you an exact date and times that would work for me soon.
Got it, then I'll just wait for that message. Good luck with work tonight, Aunt Tessa.
Thank you again, Davis, for everything. We'll talk soon.
Oh, Davis! I just wanted to let you know that I got home safe and sound.
Hey, Michaela, I'm really sorry I wasn't able to take you home tonight.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that at all. I actually had some quick errands to run on the way back home, so it was better this way for me anyways. And besides, it had been a while since you went over to visit with your aunt, right? You two should enjoy each other's company.
Thanks for being so understanding. Aunt Tessa just has some things around the house that she needed help with since she's getting a bit too old to do them by herself.
It must be hard for her to live in a place like that all by herself, though. But I'm glad that we both could help her out around the house while I was over there. It felt nice to do something for the woman that raised you.
I'm glad you both seem to get along so well. If I'm being honest, I was pretty nervous the whole time.
And now this means that we've both formally announced our engagement to both our families!
I suppose all that's left is planning the wedding and arranging a date to go to the city hall and make this thing official.
I guess so. But you're sure that I didn't do anything rude or weird while we were at your aunt's? I mean, I was also pretty nervous to be meeting her for the first time. It was all such a blur. I feel like I barely remember what happened.
I think that you were just perfect, Michaela. And I think that my aunt really did take a liking to you, so you don't gotta worry about that.
Well, I really enjoyed meeting her too. She was just so lovely, and I had a great time.
She really is a friendly person, isn't she? I feel like she always just knows how to be herself. But I'm glad that nothing out of the ordinary happened.
I know. I was so shocked when she asked for my phone number too. Who would have guessed that we would get along so quickly? Then again, maybe she was just using the charm she pulls on the customers at her clubs, right? I never would have guessed that I ended up in a connection in that kind of business. It honestly does seem like a whole nother world the more that I think about it. And I hope this isn't rude to say, but I was surprised by how well kept a woman of her age was. She looked great.
You should tell her that the next time you see her. Maybe not the age bit, but I'm sure she'd love to know that you liked her look.
If you think she'll like hearing it, then I'll be sure to say it. And the way she made it sound, she was going to be more and more free on the weekends, so I think we'll have more time to see each other. I guess she's just really busy during the week then, right?
Well, I think a lot of her regulars are people coming home from work who stop in, so she's usually pretty busy on the weekdays.
That does make sense, I suppose.
But it sure is a strange business for sure. The more you learn about it, the more you realize there's a whole nother world in this city that comes alive at night.
And on top of managing work like that, she still took you in when you were little? That must have been pretty tough on the both of you at times, right? I mean, she was probably hardly ever home at night, right? And I don't suppose it was as easy to just hire a sitter back then either, right?
Yeah, she was gone most nights, but there were times when she could ask some of her staff to look over me. She made sure to pay them to do so, but I guess it helps when you have trustworthy staff like that.
So there were always different people coming in and out of the house then? Did that ever bother you when you were little?
No, not really. If anything, I just got to know a lot of the ladies she hired, and they were all lovely. Some of them used to be teachers or nurses, so they were familiar with how to take care of kids. Some of them even helped me with my homework when I had questions. It was almost like having a whole private staff of different people with different strengths.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess that does make sense, though. Except I think that if news of something like that got out today, people would accuse your aunt of neglect or something like that.
I think the times have changed for sure, but as far as I'm concerned, she was the only one who raised me, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Well, I really am glad that you sound like you did enjoy growing up the way you did. Because being from the outside looking in, it can be a little hard to wrap my head around.
I know it seems strange, but I really did have a fun childhood. Even when Aunt Tessa would be so hungover after a night of partying, I just remember being a kid and thinking that she was turning into a zombie. I guess maybe I took a lot from her since she raised me since I was so young. I get that it's a bit weird.
It is weird, but the way you explain it all, I can't help but respect the woman. She owned her own business, was single, took in a child, and raised him into the man that I'm going to marry.
I really do feel like I owe her so much for what she did for me. She's been the only family I've had ever since my parents passed away. When they did die, the other relatives all preferred to send me to an orphanage. None of them wanted to take me in. Which is understandable, I guess, but Aunt Tessa was the exception.
Well, now your family is going to grow even bigger with me, Davis. And together we'll make our own family too, and we can all live happily as one big family.
I really can't wait for that. I'm looking forward to our future together, Michaela. I'm really so happy to have you in my life, you know. Hey, Aunt Tessa, are you working today? Because if you're not, I was just wondering if you wanted to come over and hang out.
Oh, Davis, I'm really sorry, but I have a ton of errands to run today.
Oh, really? I see.
Is everything okay? What's with that response?
Well, it's just I was in town and I ended up running into Mandy, who manages your second club.
Oh, okay. What did you guys talk about? Is everything okay?
Well, I heard from Mandy that you're not doing so well. So anyway, I guess I just was worried about you and wanted to see if you wanted to spend some time together.
Oh, no, it's nothing bad at all. I think it's just this summer heat making me feel a bit ill is all. You know how Mandy always blows things out of proportion?
I know she can be like that, but you and Mandy have been working together for almost 10 years now, and she sounded pretty worried for you.
I promise you that I really am okay. I just needed to rest a little the last time that we talked is all.
Oh, really? But when we talked just a few months ago, you said that you were wanting to keep working, right?
Well, when you get to be my age, things can change rather quickly, you know?
Your age? Aunt Tessa, are you okay? You never mention your own age. Something is up, isn't it? You know that you can talk to me about anything, right?
I know that, but I just don't want you to worry about me all your life, Davis. You have your own life and even your own wedding to plan to now. Please, just focus on those things and don't worry about me.
Right, I have something that I'd like to talk to you about in that regards. Michaela and I sent out our wedding invitations, but we never got your RSVP. We figured that it was because it was a given that you would be there, but you are going to be at the wedding, right?
I'm sorry, but I just don't think that I'll be able to go.
Wait, what? You're kidding me, right? That's gotta be some kind of joke.
I'm afraid it's true. The fact of the matter is that on the day of your wedding, I'll be meeting with someone I owe a lot to, and I simply can't miss meeting them.
But it's my wedding. You're really not gonna be there for me?
I really am sorry about this, Davis. I do wish that I could, but I just can't.
But you're the only family I have, Aunt Tessa. I need you there with me.
Come now, Davis, you're all grown up. You don't need me by your side for every little thing anymore. And this thing I have to do is really important to me as well, so I'm afraid there's nothing to be done about it.
Okay then, but what time are you gonna be home from your errands?
I don't know. It's going to be a very long day, I think.
Well, just let me know when you're done, okay? I'll wait for you. This is really serious, and I'd like to talk to you about this in person with you.
No, you shouldn't do that, Davis. I might not be home until very late. There would be no point in troubling yourself like that.
I don't care how late it is. I want to talk about this with you, Aunt Tessa.
Good morning, you old hag. I just wanted to say thanks again so much for agreeing not to come to Davis and I's wedding. I heard that you were pretty depressed the other day, though.
What are you talking about? You were the one who told me to tell Davis that I wouldn't be able to go.
And just who do you think you are talking to me like that, huh? You really are just a sad old woman, aren't you? Did you really think we were going to let some woman who runs sleazy clubs like you into our wedding?
Oh, the joke is on you because the wedding is off.
What did you just say to me? What in the world makes you think that, huh?
It's not Tessa, it's me, Davis.
You really think that I'm going to believe that? You must think I'm a moron if you're trying to tell me that you're Davis. But from now on, I want you to stay away from him. You're clearly nothing but a bad influence. I thought I made that clear to you the last time we spoke. You said you would gradually pull out of being part of his life. You and Davis are parts of different worlds, and you don't deserve to have him.
Michaela, what in the world are you talking about right now?
I mean that Davis went to college and works for a huge firm. You're just a pervy old lady who runs some shabby old clubs. You're an embarrassment to Davis, don't you get that?
You really need to stop this right now, Michaela, because you and I are not going to the city hall tomorrow.
Wait a second. How did you know that Davis and I were doing our civil ceremony tomorrow? Did you ask him about our wedding plans?
For the last time, I am Davis. I'm here at Aunt Tessa's house texting you on her phone. I spent the night here last night.
But you told me that you were at your own house yesterday. You said that you were really tired from work.
Well, I lied to you. Not only that, but I saw the message that you were sending to my aunt, and I had to do a lot of hard thinking last night.
So then, this really is Davis right now.
That's what I've been telling you this whole time.
Then what is all this talk about us not getting married? I don't understand.
I refuse to get married without the woman who raised me standing by my side. Do you understand?
But this isn't fair. I told your aunt not to mention any of this to you. How could she do this to me?
Is that even a serious question? You were insulting the woman who raised me and tried to keep her from being at our wedding. How could you do that to her?
But I was only doing it for your sake. Think of how awful it would look to have a woman like her standing around with the rest of my normal family. You really want Aunt Tessa to be what people think of when they think of your family? That's just absurd.
If you really think that, then I know for a fact now that we could never get married.
But why? This doesn't have anything to do with you. It's about her.
No, it does have to do with you. Aunt Tessa raised me for 20 years. She dedicated her life to her clubs and me, and she is the most important person in my life. I thought that you might take her place one day, but now I know that you're nothing but a horrible, condescending elitist.
So you're really going to choose your own aunt over me?
It's not even a choice, really. The answer was clear as day to me. If you're going to insult my family, then I don't want you in my life.
Davis, you're being ridiculous. You're really going to throw away marrying me to defend this harlot? It's time for you to join regular society. Nobody is going to want to be with you if you have connections to the kinds of circles your aunt runs in.
And just what's wrong with those circles? It was Aunt Tessa and her girls who raised me into the person I am today. The person that you want to marry.
You can't be serious about this, right? Please tell me that this is some kind of prank I'm just not understanding. I mean, if you and I don't get married, then who's going to pay the cancellation fees for all the reservations we made?
Don't you worry about that. I'll pay for it all, and then I never want to see you again. Do you understand me?
You're really going to throw away a normal life for her? You can't do this to me, Davis. I love you.
Well, I can't love someone who wants to tear my family apart. I really did love you, but I just don't have those feelings anymore. I know who you really are now, and it's not a person I love.
You're making a big mistake.
I think the only person here making a mistake is you, Michaela.
You can't do this to me. Please, I'll apologize to your aunt. We'll be friends. We can fix this.
There's nothing to fix. I don't want to be with you anymore, and that's that. I just hope that one day you learn the true meaning of family. After that, I reached out to Michaela's parents and explained to them that I broke off our engagement. They asked me why, and I did my best to explain what had happened. I told them that I would be paying for the cancellation fees as well. I expected them to be furious at me, but instead they apologized for their daughter's actions. After I canceled our wedding plans, I heard that Michaela quit her job, since she couldn't stand the rumors flying around at work about her engagement falling apart. I hear that now she just lives at home with her parents and hardly ever leaves.